welcome to Biters. This is Marnell, and I don't have Diane with me this week. I have Phil Parrish. Hey, Phil.
Hi, the true co-host of Last Resort.
Actually, you were the co-host of First Resort. I know. And, I have never podcasted as like the lead podcaster before. I'm like a year and a half in, and this is my first time because we've always done, with Diane and somebody else. So, and I just realized I said the royal we.
We have never been the lead before.
So this ought to be interesting. I'm definitely not as disciplined as Diane in my stuff, so I didn't actually pick a lead featured cast member. So, but I figured we'd have so much to talk about with you that we were going to go overtime anyway. So,
yeah.
Hopefully Diane is back next week. She is doing okay. Everything went well with her surgery. So hopefully, they didn't cut her larynx or anything. So we'll just see how recovery goes with her.
They didn't use a piece of broken glass, did they?
No broken glass. Yeah. I didn't have to have Sadiq patch her up or anything.
I was going to say, but you can survive that though.
Yeah, apparently. So we are podcasting Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 2, Before. So before we get into it, last week's numbers for Fear the Walking Dead, the season premiere.
Wait, what was the title?
Before?
Hold on.
Am I wrong?
Let me look. I think there's more.
Oh, no, the day of the another day in the diamond.
Yes.
Before was the first thing we saw on screen, pretty much.
Yes.
See, I told you I wasn't disciplined without Diane.
Told you not to drink before this.
I drink during this. So last week they had 4.09 million views. 1.6 million of those were in the 18 to 49 coveted category. So I don't have the live +3. I haven't seen those. And by this time we should have the live +7, but that's pretty respectable for Fear the Walking Dead.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder that the season premiere is probably up, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Between Morgan and it was on the same night as the finale of regular Walking Dead.
Exactly. And they lost almost half of the viewership between The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead. So it'll be interesting to see what this week's numbers are next week, just to see who stuck with it because, last week was kind of the Morgan show. And this week we did get to see a lot of our main group.
Although I'll tell you what's probably losing viewership is Talking Dead.
Yes, because it's on an hour later. Yeah, that's tough on a Sunday night.
Last week with regular Walking Dead and Fear was one thing, but this week they had Into the Badlands on, which I don't watch, and I have to be at work at 6:45 in the morning. So guess what? I don't know how many people are staying up for 11 o'clock Talking Dead.
Yeah, I watched Talking Dead early this morning, only because we are podcasting Monday night, and it's right after work for me and pretty much bedtime for you. So. Yeah, it was a struggle to watch Fear because it was on so late. But I really wish they wouldn't do that. And I know that they're trying to get viewership for their newer shows. Into the Badlands, 2 years old in season 2.
I don't know. I don't watch it. It's either 2 or 3.
Yeah, and then The Terror, which premiered a couple weeks ago, and then moved, I think, to Monday nights.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that just seems like a cheap move, and I'm just like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. Like I said, it's one thing to do it with the Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead back to back, but to do it with any other show not related to the Walking Dead universe is just, it's annoying. I wish they wouldn't do it. Yeah. And they're going to be doing it for some time to come.
I know, because they did it this week, and I was looking at my DVR. Next week, it looks like the same thing.
They made the announcement this week at the very, very beginning of the episode that we're going to be on an hour later for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah, no bueno. So, The only thing I have for Whisperer's Corner is really Cohen Watch 2018.
Still no word on that on her
Still no
contract?
word. No. It looked like Scott M. Gimple was saying that there should be word soon. The timing looks really good with her filming Whiskey Cavalier, and the break in filming for that almost coincides with the start of a filming Walking Dead. So we may see her in a limited capacity next season. Not like we saw a bunch of her this season. Not enough. I mean, for being a main character, and one who's pregnant, I really wish they'd get on it and sign her for season 9 so that we can all stop sitting on the edge of our seats.
At this point, I'm just wondering, it's like, are they being jerks about this, or are they just like, now are they just milking it for publicity? Like, is her contract hiding under a dumpster or something?
Her contract's like her pregnancy, the end of her pregnancy. It's never going to come.
It's going to last 3 years, yeah. Yeah,
it's going to last 3 years. So still waiting on that. And then I did see a cute fun little interesting article on comicbook.com where, and I didn't know this, I guess that there is kind of a spin-off comic for the Governor. It's called The Walking Dead: Rise of the Governor.
I wonder if that's an adaptation, because there was a novel, I think.
I think that's what it is.
Okay.
It's by Robert Kirkman and Jay. I'm going to totally slaughter your last name, Bonasingas.
Because I think the Governor had like 2 or 3 books. I think that's the first, because I read that. I believe that's the one I read. I believe it was the first one.
So David Morrissey said that he would love to come back and play the Governor. And with what they did with the Red Machete and Flight 462, I would love to see not like an entire series around the Governor and how he came to be the Governor, but maybe like a 4-parter, just a little mini series.
Yeah, mini series, like maybe around Christmas or something, or
Right. And I think that would be great. And, they keep saying that they want to expand the world. So that would be a great way to do it. And maybe to the bane of other viewers, they could do it with Negan eventually too. And we could see the rise of Negan.
And then you could have more Talking Dead, because Chris Hardwick doesn't have enough jobs.
No, right? God, that guy. I
want to be Chris Hardwick.
We were just talking about him today and how he kind of rose to power, because we, Di and I are murderinos. We love My Favorite Murder podcast. And my other half and I just got VIP tickets to their Seattle show.
Oh.
And Diane doesn't know that yet because it just went on sale today. And we were talking about how they have parlayed this podcast into just what's becoming a media empire for them, and how Chris Hardwick did that with Nerdist. And it's just amazing. 10 years ago, people knew him from Singled Out, and that was about it. He had faded into the background, and now, he's the most working man in television at this point, or in media. So yeah, interesting.
TV shows, podcasts. Well, what is that? Xfinity commercial? Or Verizon, what is it? One of those.
I was going to say, I don't get Xfinity. We don't get satellite radio up here.
No, there's some TV commercial. He did a commercial. I forget what it is. It was for somebody. I don't know if it was Verizon or it was something.
Well, then he had At Midnight Forever, which was amazing. I loved it. I miss it. And he's, super. He does all kinds of other shows for Comedy Central. He does 2 hours? He writes 2 hours worth of stand-up a month or something, and tours with that still. And it's just like, I'm pretty sure he's perfected cloning himself, and there's like 3 or 4 of him running around. Or he just doesn't sleep.
Hey, pay me his money and give me his job. I'll be everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll probably have an Adderall addiction, but hey, whatever.
Hey, you're almost there now. Hey.
Oh, so should we get into the episode?
Sure.
Of course, we know what the title means. So, what was your good?
The good. I like the idea of the whole stadium. It's like an original idea we haven't really seen before.
Right.
It's like you have Ground the Farm, and I guess now we have
we have the prison.
Yeah. But no, now we have Farmer Nick.
I actually like Farmer Nick.
I know, but I'm like, well, what is this like? Is this like the like an analogy to Farmer Farmer Nick?
Oh, there we go. There's a connection.
I give up violence.
Are you doing with this with like no notes? This is just off the top of your head.
Boom.
Oh my goodness. You play fast and loose, sir.
I walk a tightrope every time.
Oh, well, you are like a professional podcaster. How many do you do nowadays?
Well, it's basically only 2, but there's like multiple like shows on both of them. So
yeah, see.
Yeah, I don't know if you can call me professional. I don't get paid for it like Hardwick. 888 Dead Live.
Unpaid intern professional. Something like that.
I gotta sexually harass myself.
Oh, that's funny. Do you call into yourself? I'm sick today. I can't make it.
I call myself Sugar and get all annoyed with myself.
Oh, you have to remember this is a PG-13 podcast.
I said Sugar.
I know. I know. I've said way worse, but.
Oh, I know.
So my good was the introduction of Naomi's character.
Yeah.
And so the first episode we saw, of course, the introduction of 2 new characters, Althea and John Dory, like the fish. And the juxtaposition between, and there's that word again, juxtaposition between John's character having been alone on his own for so long, not having talked to anyone. And then, what's that? And then, and then Naomi's character, who has also been on her own for a very long time, and just the difference in attitudes with both of them. I mean, John seems to kind of crave, a partner or do that. Absolutely do that.
Okay.
We were going to get a gong.
Keep.
There you go.
So everyone at home, I'll try to hit the bell every time I hear it. So keep a tally.
So this is the perks of podcasting with Phil, is he has an awesome soundboard.
You're right, I do.
So, but just John was very hopeful and very positive, and he craved companionship. And Naomi was completely the opposite. She was like, get away from me, leave me alone. And it'll be interesting to see what her backstory holds that drove her to that. The way that she said, I don't have a child, or, oh, I did say it. I was going to call you out and say, no, I didn't. So the way that she said that she didn't have a child, it almost seemed like she had a child and lost a child. She was it was very broken, the way that she said it. And then to be so she pushed back at joining them, even. I did it.
I don't know. I just got the impression that maybe, she had a, I said it, that she maybe had a husband and children, and maybe they died in the beginning of the outbreak, and then she's been alone and traveling by herself ever since.
And so here's the thing. When I saw John Dory and he was like, oh, come out, it's okay, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whatever, rapey rapist, it's not okay. I just, if I were a woman traveling alone, I would definitely, you are hovering over that button.
What?
Phil and I are actually Google Hangouting this, so he can actually see me, and I can see him hovering over the ding button. So, but I would never have approached John Dory. Like,
No.
For me, he was a little too creepy. Like Diane said. Exactly. Like Diane said, it seemed like he was playing a character. He had just stepped out of a comic book, and it was a little too much for me. And so I think I would have given him a wide berth. And I think I would probably give most people a wide berth. Maybe I would have approached Madison and Alicia. But I mean, even at Terminus, we had a bunch of female cannibals. So you never know. So, no, I didn't say it. I said you never know.
I know. I caught myself. But yeah, I was thinking about that too. It's like, yeah, they're women, but I mean, even good people in this situation, it's like, if you're starving, what would you do to, feed yourself and your children?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's another good point is even good people will do bad things. And we're seeing that maybe with the main group now, where they've taken Althea and Morgan and John hostage. So, you got to do what you got to do. I said it.
But all right, you're the accountant. What's up with those numbers?
So the 457 was super high, but there could be 457 walkers in those drums of oil, the silos of oil, whatever they were. When they got to the outside of the stadium and they rode the bicycle around and rounded up, I counted 9. But they were in a little herd, so it was from a distance. There could have been 12, and that was the number that he spray painted on the side.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I saw the 12. I'm like, oh, is there 12 in there?
And where they got the one flag at the trailers, I believe there could have been 51 there. So, but yeah, I kind of think that's what the numbers are, and I don't know why they're counting. Is it some sort of weird score they're keeping, or? There was a rumor of maybe that they were using the walkers as a weapon and using them for traps. And that was just kind of their way of maybe keeping track of how many they had to deal with. Like, if we open this thing, it's only got a dozen. But if we open this thing, it's got 457.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, look at the big oil drum you're talking about. I mean, that almost killed it, There's like a little hole in the roof. I don't know if that was intentional or not.
I think it absolutely was, because when Naomi started running up the stairs were rigged with silverware that made a tinking sound. And then there were speakers on the edges of the big hole. So I would imagine they were playing music and the walkers were just going up there and falling in. Yeah. Build a better mousetrap.
That's always funny to me. Just like when you see walkers like falling off a cliff or like in this, off a roof or something.
Right.
But I mean, you read the comic, right?
I have read some of the comic, but I am proficient at reading the wiki.
well, I was gonna say, I mean, unless they're just like trying to build like big herds, unless they're like gonna be like trying to drive these big herds of people.
But I definitely think that the weapon is a possibility, because if maybe they're on the run from a bigger, badder group, they're going to start releasing them, and they know how many, that they can release and have to manage at some point.
Well, these people, didn't they call them the vultures? It's like they said, yes. Their leader said, they pick out people's stuff after they die. So maybe they send the walkers to kill these people. And then once everything thins out, they loot the remains.
Yeah, they seemed pretty content to just sit there and wait for everybody to die. So,
that's my bad. We'll get there.
Okay, well, we are at our bads because we've totally veered off of our goods. So let's get to our bads. What was your bad?
Okay, my bad. After Madison goes out and confronts the leader, and it's kind of a threatening tone. We've already seen they have at least one sniper rifle in that stadium. Why don't you just go back in and pop the guy in the head?
Oh, yes, we were absolutely talking about this today. They're just sitting out there in lawn chairs with their beer coolers. Just start popping people off.
They're not even sitting in the trucks or anything. Yeah, they're sitting in lawn chairs.
No, you have guns and you have little baseball bombs.
Yes, right? Yes. And even if you just start winging people with those pitching machines, I mean, it's still gonna hurt.
See, I say stop burning the turnips and start winging those at people.
Molotov turnips.
Weevil-filled Molotov turnips.
But I mean, they have at least one sniper rifle. Just be like, we're gonna, until you leave, we're gonna start popping one of you at like every 15 minutes or something.
Well, and at this point, I wouldn't even let them leave. I would disable all of their vehicles. I would start taking out tires in all of their vehicles, and just every time they poke their head out, I would snipe them. I just don't even mess with that. But this gets into my bad. Madison, no one's gone until they're gone.
They're trying to redeem her.
The return of Madison did not help me at all. I really liked the Morgan show last week, and I liked our main group, sans Madison. This week, when it started out with her staying up all night and trying to build a shelter for the little girl, and she's running on no sleep, and she's gonna go rescue Naomi. She's has to be the be all do all superwoman of the show, and it drives me insane.
I saw with this week, especially with the guns like strapped to her hip, they're trying to make her the female Rick.
They are, and it's not working. Mm-hmm. And I mean, any avid listener of the show, any part-time listener of the show knows that I am all about the female leads, but she's just not working for me.
Yeah.
Make Alicia or Luciana or somebody the female lead.
Yeah. Or I mean,
I did say it.
Just make her different. I mean, I don't care if she's like a giant whatever. It's just
she seemed to have no weakness or no emotion or anything. She was too I can do everything, and my way's best, and I'm gonna do everything.
Because I mean, they're trying to fix her character, but she still seemed cold and calculated. Even when Rick does like something that you'd be like, man, that's pretty evil. I mean, it's still, you're like
emotion.
He's doing it for the people he loves. He was doing it for Coral.
Right. Her character just has no depth to it. And I really wish they would either fill that out or kick her out. Like,
yes.
I'm ready for Althea or Naomi to take this group over.
Or, I mean, they could do an anthology series with this. I mean, you don't have to keep someone around forever. Kill Madison off. By season 5, if this lasts till another season, by season 5, you could have it where like nobody from season 1's left.
And that was one of the ways that we're going to solve the problem is a full reboot. And you could do that. You could slowly or quickly kill off as many characters as you wish, and just the slow introduction of new people, Althea, John, Naomi. You could totally evolve this show. And I mean, they've already started that. It's already starting to get much better reviews than it has been. It's getting better reviews than the season finale of Walking Dead Prime. So yeah, they could totally go there.
I mean, it doesn't live in print anywhere. I mean, even the main show, I mean, they're not afraid to veer from the comic, but I mean, this show doesn't live in print anywhere. As far as I know, they can go wherever they want. Right.
They did an enormous time jump. So yeah, absolutely. So what was your ugly? Good ugly or bad ugly?
Good ugly or bad ugly? I should have thought of this.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, sure.
So my bad ugly was, why were they camping outside? They had an entire empty town when they met Naomi.
Yes.
And it was dark, and they were all sitting around that burned out car. And it's like, why are you outside? And right next to a bunch of silos full of walkers.
Yes.
What are you doing? Like, you could have 4 walls and a roof, and you know, like, you could totally have a secure area to spend the night in. I mean, obviously they didn't spend the night, but they were just sitting around outside. I mean,
it doesn't make sense to me, but unless they were afraid of getting trapped in a building or something, but...
Yeah, I will give you that, because that place was super creepy. That there were no walkers. In the beginning, they were like, "There's no walkers here, and this town is entirely picked clean, even the light bulbs." Mm-hmm. And so, granted, you know, that I could have possibly like walked in there and been like, "Okay, this is a trap." So. But yeah, they weren't even like in their vehicle, like on their way home. They were just going to sit there for a few minutes. I don't know if they were supposed to be drying out from the oil or what, but that really annoyed me, that they were just sitting out there all vulnerable, like next to a burned out car. So that was mine.
I don't know. Probably like I said, my bad was the why didn't they pop the guys from a distance? I don't know, just again, probably like Madison. I mean, how many people did you say they had? Like 47 people?
Yes.
Where it's just like, oh yeah, let's keep going further and further. Let's start doing all these rescue missions. Let's find
Right.
Find Charlie's parents, and it's like
okay. Rotting potpourri. Since you don't have much of an ugly and we're just chatting about the show at this point, rotting potpourri.
Okay.
Charlie. You knew she was a spy from the beginning, right? That was obvious.
Yeah. Anytime they mention those parents, she's just like turning her head, you know, like, oh, I don't want to say. I'm like, she's either a spy or she saw her parents like die a grisly death, but she ain't talking about it.
Yeah, again, very emotionless, very flat, but that could be shock. You know, if she was traumatized from being out there on her own and saw her parents die horribly or something, she could have actually been traumatized. But the minute she started asking Nick a bunch of questions about how much food they had left and all that kind of thing, I'm like, oh, she's reporting back to somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew that little girl was trouble. I'm like, oh, check her head for the mark of the beast. Yeah, I didn't trust her from the beginning. And I don't know if that's because I watched the show or I'm super jaded or I'm not really into kids. But yeah, I knew she was a spy from the beginning.
All right. I just thought of it. I got an ugly. So all of our main characters from last season survived the dam blowing up.
Oh, thank you. Absolutely. So it makes you wonder if any of the bad guys survived, or was it just happened to be all the good guys survived and none of the bad guys survived?
Exactly.
Yeah. So I thought about that today too. It took the second rewatch where Strand was talking about the dam, and I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, Nick survived. Nick was standing on it, wasn't he? And he survived.
He was the one who pushed the damn button. Yes. He was standing right there. Strand was standing on it too, wasn't he?
No, wasn't he in the boat with Alicia?
Okay, he was in the boat with Alicia.
Because I think he told the rest of them to go. He was like, he was going to push the button once they all got away.
And so multiple people, I know Luciana and Nick talked about how they were, I think when Luciana was basically like, why doesn't Nick go out on runs with us anymore? Madison was like, well, you didn't see him when I found him. He needs some time. So Madison found Nick, and Strand was grateful to Madison for not only finding him, but quote unquote saving him. Mm-hmm. So apparently she was like a one woman like search and rescue, and she went around and found everybody like the superwoman that she is. I know we both just rolled our eyes. So, and we're probably going to see that backstory.
Well, I mean, that's like a trope of Walking Dead. It's like, even the regular show, the first couple of seasons, everyone would get separated and then they all find their way back to each other.
Well, and they did it with Fear the Walking Dead too, because Luciana was lost for a long time. Nick was lost for a long time. Alicia went out on her own. I just, Strand, he came back into the, I mean, yes, but people, they weren't really found. They found the main group. And it kind of sounds like Madison was a one-woman show for a really long time, going around collecting all of her people. And that annoys me. I'm just like, because they had no plan. I mean, where were they going to meet back up? Where, did she just like follow the river south at that point and just, yeah. And yeah. The
whole damn thing, it was just almost like, okay. I'm like, Nick Disney, he's not even walking with a limp. He didn't get any injury from that. He's, just some PTSD.
Yeah, some major PTSD. Yeah, he cracked his head open on that steering wheel, but he's completely fine everyone's completely fine from the dam breaking. Like, nobody broke a leg. Yeah, no. Nothing. Nope. Yeah.
But I was just waiting because when Naomi was like patching up his head, he's asking her if she was a nurse. I was waiting to say, "Do you got any drugs?"
I thought about that too, because he was asking her all kinds of questions, like, "Are you a doctor or nurse? What kind of nurse?"
Because it seems weird, because like every season, it's like he'll be like bad, like, "Oh, I need some drugs," and then like he'll go for a while without taking anything or looking for any, and it's just like, okay, did he kick the habit? Then all of a sudden he'll be like, boom, back,
Yeah, and I think he's fine if the opportunity doesn't present itself, because he was fine until he got into where he met Luciana, and they had Vicodin or morphine or something there.
Just temptation, yeah.
Right. So I think as long as he doesn't have temptation, and 2 years into the apocalypse, they're going to be hard pressed to find a large quantity that would sustain him.
That's why I just wonder if they're going to use that time jump to be like, oh yeah, he kicked it after.
Gardening is his drug now.
You would order that on a pillow or something.
Speaking of gardening, I can't grow anything. Like my lawn is
nothing legal.
My lawn is moss and clover.
You live in a frozen wasteland too.
That's true, but even indoor plants and stuff, I cannot grow. So, do you have to burn the turnips that have weevils? They had livestock there. I'm thinking you could grind that up and feed it to the livestock.
I don't know. Would weevils make them sick? I don't know.
They're just a beetle.
Well, I guess.
Yeah, they're just a tiny beetle. They're herbivores.
I would think you'd have to do something to the ground rather than the turnips.
Yeah. I at that point, I think you would almost have to burn the soil.
Before he discovered the weevils, I thought they were going to be like, oh, the soil's bad or something. They were going to discover like a bunch of dead bodies under the stadium or something.
Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah.
No, but I was thinking about that. I was like, what a waste. I mean, if you had to kill the weevils, you could boil the turnips and then feed it to the livestock, because they had cows and come to think of it, if they had chickens, they could release the chickens into the fields and the chickens would eat the weevils. They
did have chickens because they had eggs. They were eating eggs at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. So I may not be a gardener, but I got a few good ideas. And that's funny that Nick had problems with his turnips, because didn't Rick have problems with something?
Telling you, Rick, Nick.
Yep. Maybe they should kill off Madison and have another male-led show. I'd be okay with that.
Oh no! But if they kill her off, then Nick's gonna like hallucinate he's seeing her in a white dress for a season.
Or talking on the telephone with her. She'll be over that PA system talking to him.
Travis?
Who's Travis? Right? Like, when was he on this show? We totally forgot about him. Madison's not in mourning at all for Travis. I mean, he was in mourning for his ex-wife longer than she was in mourning for Travis, when Madison was in mourning for Travis.
Well, you know.
Speaking of the PA system, was that a good idea? You're going to attract every walker within like a 4-mile radius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that stadium's secure, but
still, how many times have we griped about walkers building up on the fences on the outside? True. You know, that the gate that they have for the vehicles to go in and out does not look that secure. So, yeah. Don't let them build up. And we've seen from the other show that giant herds can happen, you know, at a moment's notice. So, yeah, don't use the PA system to announce how many days it's been.
Haven't they watched anything with the Negan landscaping service? You put a fence up, you strap some walkers to it, especially those Simon ones.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, goodness. Let's see. So, did you have a rating for this episode? We totally skipped over ratings.
Oh,
Some number out of 5.
You know what? I'll give this one. This is on the Fear the Walking Dead curve. I'll give it like a 4 out of 5.
Wow.
I mean, I don't. Not that we got a lot of Morgan this week, but I mean, I don't know if it's the Morgan factor, but I mean, I'm not saying it's a perfect show, but I'm liking it better than the previous seasons.
Definitely. I gave it a 3.85 salmon patties, which are really not that bad.
What's a salmon patty?
And by the way, salmon do not spend their entire lives swimming upstream. Madison said, wow, to spend your entire life swimming upstream. I'm like, they don't swim upstream their entire life.
Sometimes got to tell kids stories, you know.
Apparently not. That little girl knew a blues singer from like the 30s.
Well, I guess the whole thing was she's been reading books since the apocalypse started.
Yeah, but books like The Little Prince, not like.
Well, again, you know, if that's the only book you can find.
History of the Blues. Wow. Yeah, she just maybe it's the influence of the dude Mel and his brother. Which did we get like a Negan Light vibe from him?
Yes, Negan Light, and I swear he looked familiar, like maybe he was one of those people from Terminus or something.
Oh, that's funny. I don't think he has any Walking Dead credits.
But yeah, I mean, no, I know he wasn't, but he just he looked like one of those. What is that? That Gareth or whatever.
That's right.
He looked familiar to me, but yeah, I did get a Negan Light vibe, like, oh, you know, all your stuff's gonna be mine when you're dead, and
yeah, definitely.
We have a system.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of. I don't know if I'm going to like the Vulture storyline because we are fresh off of the Saviors, and these guys just feel like Saviors 2.0, like a kinder, gentler Saviors. They're not going to smash your head in with a wire-wrapped baseball bat. They're just going to wait you out until you die.
The lazy Saviors.
The lazy Saviors. Oh, that's funny. Instead of driving a Dodge Challenger or whatever Negan drove, they drive El Caminos with BMX bikes in the back.
Well, they were tailgating in the stadium parking lot this episode.
That's very true. Because they just immediately brought out lawn chairs and coolers.
I know. Again, I mean, if Madison and her people had any brains, I mean, someone could have shot you. They just set up chairs, like, yeah.
And they totally nobody postured or anything when everyone came out with their guns. And then later Luciana just like walks out and puts the book down and goes back. I'm like, what sort of takeover is this?
I know. It's like, did the Vultures even pull any guns? Because when Madison, everyone came out, what if they just started like strafing everybody?
Yeah, exactly. And I was just thinking, this is going to end badly because Madison thinks she can save everybody.
Oh, she's good now.
Every villain is the hero of their own story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just wonder where she's at. Like we were saying at the end, they caught up to where Morgan was last episode, and again, no Madison. I wonder if the Vultures have her, or
yeah, that will be interesting. It looks like we're going to be doing this dual time jump for a while, which is kind of okay because it's just the 2 time jumps. It's what's going on now and how we got here.
But I wonder how long the time jump is from the stadium to, Morgan. Is it like a couple months? Is it a year or more?
Right. And how long are they going to string this out? Is this going to be the entire season of the 2 time jumps, which I think is going to get a little old? But if they do it maybe half the season, I can live with it. But they've got a lot of backstory to tell with this time jump.
Yeah.
And I know that they wanted to get Morgan on the season premiere, and we have to tell the backstory of the time jump. So I'm cutting it a little slack, but yeah.
Poor Lenny James.
Well, from the stuff that I saw, it said that he wanted to be on Fear the Walking Dead. I didn't really go into depth reading any of it, and I'm sure he probably has to say that contractually.
Yeah, and maybe they I don't know, they made a convincing argument for him to go to the other show.
Definitely. I think they spent a lot of money trying to reboot this between Maggie Grace and Jenna Elfman and Lenny. Yeah. So yeah, I think they spent quite a few dollars on this. I don't know about the other guy who's playing John Dory.
Oh, the one who auditioned to be Negan.
Right. Could you see him as Negan?
No, I don't know if it's just because
Jeffrey Dean Morgan is so good.
Morgan is so good, but yeah. But I love Talking Dead last week. He's like, yeah, when I turned it
down. The only other person who I could have seen as Negan, and it's because he looks so similar to the comic book character, is Henry Rollins.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to say. I've heard people say John Hamm.
Oh no. I didn't watch Mad Men.
Me neither, but I mean, just the look he could pull it off. I don't know about the acting, but
he might have been pulled off. He might have been able to pull off the acting, but he doesn't have the gruffness that Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Henry Rollins have. Yeah,
Jeffrey Dean Morgan, he's so good. I can't picture really anybody doing that now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you have anything else?
I don't think so. So, how was it? How was it sitting in the big chair?
A lot of pressure, and it's really funny to do podcasts not with Diane.
Yes.
I've always done them with Diane or Diane plus somebody else, and just Diane totally keeps me on track, and we didn't have this time, which is why you got our ratings like 2/3 of the way through the show.
Sorry, people. I'll take the blame.
Just makes me wonder how many people got through half the episode and went, wait a minute, they didn't do ratings.
Oh, you'll get the emails.
We didn't get any viewer feedback on episode 2. I did say, I've actually said it a bunch of times.
I know. I missed the last couple.
But no, we didn't.
Do the beginning episode over under how many times you two will say
Oh, I don't even think I could go back and listen and count because I don't hear it. It's like saying or like. It blends in for most people. maybe we should have the listeners who hate it give us a count. Maybe we should have betting on the over-under. But
I don't hate it, but I've just last couple episodes I've listened. I'm like, oh, there they said it.
And we've actually also been pointing it out when we say it, when we find that we're saying it.
It's like, oh, they said, take a drink. Oh, they mentioned Capes and Lunatics, take a drink.
Well, we love you.
I know.
We love Phil Parrish. The T is invisible.
Oh, that's right. You got my name right this week. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Marvel.
Sarah Palin's still going to call you Perch. So, for those of you, I'm sure most of the listeners know, Phil and I do have a bet, which I am probably going to lose, which means nobody loses. He's grinning so much right now. I will be Sarah Palin on his show and read a passage of his choosing, speech, a blurb, a dirty limerick, a tweet, something.
Can't be too dirty. Remember where we're at.
That's right.
So, yeah, we will be doing a live show. Hopefully Diane can join us.
Yes. Big round table. Well, we're going to do 2 for Avengers Infinity War because Capes and Lunatics is going to be our 50th episode.
Woohoo!
Yeah. So, yeah. The second one, this show's going up this week. Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern. It'll be Darnell, hopefully Diane, and like a probably at least 2 or 3 other podcasters.
Yeah. Hopefully by then we'll have some numbers and we'll see which one of us wins the bet. I hope that I do just because I want Black Panther to win, but I'm totally not going to be butthurt if you win.
But, I mean, you haven't even named your terms yet.
Because I'm pretty sure you're going to win.
Watch, then Black Panther will win and be like, you blew it.
I know. Like, can I name my terms after I win the bet?
Oh, Lord.
My terms are, I name my terms after I win the bet.
No, I'm scared.
No, I think you've already got me beaten pre-sales, don't you?
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
God, I think they beat everything in pre-sales in like 6 hours or something, the first 6 hours.
Yeah. So
it's just simple math. You're an accountant. You should know this. It's Black Panther plus everyone else.
Yeah, but Black Panther struck at the right moment.
Yeah, true. But I mean, everybody, if there's, Black Panther fan, contagious.
That's funny.
But I mean, you got Black Panther fans, you have Iron Man fans, Guardians of the Galaxy fans, Do you really think that people are individualized in that if they're I mean, if people are fans of maybe only 2 or 3 of the franchises, I mean, it's going to bring in everybody in the, if you're a fan of anything in the MCU, it's going to bring you in.
See, and my thing is they were doing GoFundMe fundraisers, and that you had athletes buying out entire theaters for the kids to go see the movie. So, I mean, you don't have that with a regular Marvel movie. It's, I think we did have one I think they did have one women's only show for Wonder Woman, and people freaked out about that. Which, I totally get, but I also totally get having a women's only show. So,
I mean, if people are paying, who cares? Who?
It's not like dudes were. Did you see it?
What?
Oh,
I said it, but did you?
Oh, okay. I don't think I said it. It's not like guys were prohibited from seeing the movie at all.
No.
Just go to the 9 o'clock show. It'll be fine.
As long as there's paying customers, it doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So have you watched any of the trailers for the next episode of Fear the Walking Dead?
Just no. The only thing I watched was like when they show you the scenes at the end of the episode. Like we haven't even watched Talking Dead yet because me and my wife usually will watch that together. So maybe tonight or tomorrow. Yeah. Because once again, it was on too late last night. I have to get up at like 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I get up at 5. Yep, absolutely.
Always has to one up me.
Okay, well, I wake up at 5. I don't actually get out of bed until 6.
Oh, Lord. You're like my wife. Set the alarm 5 or 10 minutes early so I have time to wake up.
Oh, I cannot get straight out of bed.
I have to jump out of bed as soon as the alarm goes off or I'll fall back asleep.
That's what the snooze button is for.
I know, but I got to jump out of bed, go downstairs, take a shower, wake me up.
You also have kids. Aren't those little alarm clocks in themselves? Don't they get up?
He likes to sleep. Unless he has like preschool that day, he likes to sleep.
Oh, bless his
I'm
heart.
so lucky. Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Maybe when he was younger, but now that he's 5, he's like, let me sleep.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, but next week's episode looks really good. Kind of looks like we, Althea and Morgan turned the tables on our group. So, and we get some more backstory with Madison. So yeah.
Join us next week for episode 3 of Morgan and the Gang. They really like retold that whole show, like you're saying. Even the like, isn't the theme song in the beginning different? And
yeah, the whole beginning, and it's only like 10 seconds long rather than the full minute and a half intro that The Walking Dead is. Yeah, full reboot of the show. I think where they've gone is much better than the previous 3 seasons. Because remember, in season 1, this was going to be Fear the Walking Dead on the water. It was going to be The Walking Dead on a boat.
Well, season 1, it's like we're going to reveal all the secrets of the beginnings of the zombie apocalypse. You never learn nothing. And they season 2, it's going to be zombie pirates.
Yeah, and none of that happened. So, yeah.
Like I said, they should just do an anthology. If they followed them around for a while, follow somebody else around. What's going on in, say, Alaska?
Did you see that they were looking at doing a, not Kirkman, not Gimple. Oh my God, I'm completely drawing a blank. They are looking at doing Walking Dead Alaska.
Oh, really?
Yes. Diane and I are so stoked about that because it would help solve a lot of our questions about what happens to zombies when they get frozen. Do they reanimate when they thaw? And when you're trudging around in 3 feet of snow, but it's thawing, it's warming up, like you could potentially like put your foot down and a zombie could bite it, in the snow. It's woken up, but it can't get through the snow yet. And your foot goes through and it munches down on you. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make this announcement now. I'm going to start a Kickstarter. Everyone, send me money. We're going to make a movie, The Real Housewives of Alaska versus zombie apocalypse.
Well, I did just take a small game class, and it is shockingly easy to. And I knew this of large animals, but it's even easier to skin small animals. Like it's it's creepy.
Oh, that was that picture of you standing in front of a table, like covered in blood. Okay. I'm feeling a little better now.
Yes. But snowshoeing, I don't recommend it. It's traipsing through the woods in clown shoes. But you gotta do. I mean, if you don't wear snowshoes, your foot will go straight through and you could wind up stuck in the snow. So they have their place, just not on my feet.
Do you and Diane love Alaska that much?
I do.
Do ya?
I do. I couldn't imagine living any place else.
You like the cold?
I love the cold. I don't like it when it's too hot.
I'd rather have the summer warm.
The summers are warm, but we only get about 4 months of warmth, and then the rest is like rain, snow, freeze, rain, snow, freeze.
Yeah, that's probably around like Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Get 4 months of warm, then rain.
Yeah. Diane, like right now, she's still got a ton of snow where she is because she's like 2,000 miles north of me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour plane ride to where she is, or a 2-hour plane ride to Seattle from where I am. So, our climate down in Juneau is more like Seattle with more snow in the wintertime, but we are a temperate rainforest down here in Southeast. So we get a lot of rain. Diane gets a lot of cold and snow. So, but I think we've rambled on about just about everything.
Thank you for joining us for our climate change conversation.
Climate change corner.
It's hot, it's cold, it's all of the above. It's climate change corner.
Hey, there was 1 week earlier last month that on Monday I was wearing short sleeves, and on Friday I was shoveling 2 feet of snow.
Oh, it was the same way here.
Yeah.
Was that last weekend or the weekend before? Yeah, there was the one weekend we had like 80 degrees, and then like 2 days later it was like icy on my way to work.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have crazier weather than we do right now.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Phil, where can they find you?
Oh, I thank you for asking, Marnell.
I'm so good at that.
You are. As we mentioned before, I'm on the Capes and Lunatics podcast and the Capes and Lunatics sidekicks because we had so much content with like old reviews and new stuff. And as we mentioned, Capes and Lunatics episode 50 is coming up. You can watch it live on YouTube if you want. This Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Sunday afternoon, 5 p.m. Eastern. Biters fans, if you want to know what Marnell and Diane look like, you can check it out Sunday afternoon at 5.
Hopefully Diane will be joining us.
Yeah, hopefully, as long as her voice is...
Yes, as long as her voice is there.
I'm sure if it's humanly possible, she will drag herself onto there. Just even if she doesn't talk, she can just sit there and just watch us. And because I know she's gonna want to see you, Sarah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be Sarah on that podcast. I'm coming on a different one.
Okay, that's fine.
Because we won't know that you won.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I might just have you record a bunch of drops as Sarah, just so I have like buttons.
I could totally do that. You could take snippets of whatever you have me read. That'll be funny. Well, as always, you can find us on southgatemediagroup.com. You can like us and share us on Facebook, facebook.com/biters. You can support us on Patreon, both Biters and Capes and Lunatics. And you can find many other podcasts on the Southgate Media Group channel.
Everything and anything.
Yes. And probably more to come.
And if you like, I think we mentioned it, you can find this conversation. There will be a video on the Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel. So,
oh, really?
Yes.
If I'd have known that, I would have dressed better.
Like you can see anything besides your shoulders.
I'm totally kidding. I know I didn't turn my overhead light on. This is what Podcast Central usually looks like for me, is nice and dim. It shuts off the noise in my brain from the...
Oh, you always look good, Marnell. That's right. That's right. She does, Jack. I'm honestly.
Oh, and tune in to see me as Sarah Palin.
Oh, are you gonna put on like the business suit and like have the glasses? And everything?
Glasses, bangs, everything.
Nice.
Yeah. No. I've been planning. Like, yeah. I know it's happening.
The new Tina Fey, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, all right, Phil. I think that is it for us this week. Maybe you'll join us next week if Diane's feeling better or not.
Well, just let me know.
But I will definitely be on the Sunday show for Capes and Lunatics.
Thank you.
So, have a good night, everybody.
Oh, you're not going to say it?
Oh, are we going to try it?
I guess.
Good thing you reminded me. See, Diane needs to be here to keep me in line.
I know.
All right. take it
one
dead
day
at a
time.
one dead day at a time.